How many times do you train your abs? Again, I don't train my abs. Your waist isn't going to get smaller by training your abs. It's going to get thicker and bigger. What is longevity? And longevity is bone structure and connective tissue. It's not the muscle. You've got to tear the fibers of the body to build and get stronger. Posing is important for you guys. Even if you're a strong man, I want to see your abs.
You guys are ready?
Ready for this? Want to see shoulder abs? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
So one of the comments was, is it because you're natural that so many people try to compare you with others in your age class in bodybuilding? And I read that and I thought, what others? Skinny fat. That sucks. Is it better to bulk first or cut first?
Let's go back to Loris first. So, yeah, Loris said here, and I hope you guys do understand this. Guten Morgen, Loris. You don't need to lift heavy. That's true. I mean, obviously, you don't even have to work out. That goes into play. The only problem with that is, and for everybody here, lifting heavy, again, remember, lifting heavy for you is always up to how strong you are. It's never about how strong compared to me or somebody else. Always lifting heavy is always up to you. And then understand that, like we spoke about before, where Loris is not incorporated in science, your body adapts to the pressure it's put under. That's Wolff's Law. And Wolff's Law is the understanding of bone density and bones. And what happens is if you put your body under pressure, it will the bones will adapt to that pressure. So again, as you age, your bones get more brittle and you lose that density, and that's what causes old age. That's why you see a lot of people get shorter as they get older, because their bone density just gets very, very, what would be the word? Fragile, like Loris's mental approach on this. You got to try to understand that we're always going to fight against that pressure of the world and how it's bearing you down. So try to be as strong as you possibly can without being ballistic and with bad form and all that kind of stuff. But do lift as heavy. And the most important thing is like how Mona is. You got a 45-year-old woman that looks tremendous a year after having the baby. And again, that goes back to how Mona lifts like us. So it's, again, that pressure. Now, that's science. And we always want to go back to that point of view of what is longevity, and longevity is bone structure and connective tissue. It's not the muscle. So just kind of go back to that and disregard the light approach. Here's the problem with that is I don't want you guys to think, and I'm not going to preach, can you go into the gym and do light? Yes, that's cardiovascular. Can you go in and do light and expect the big changes? It's not going to happen. That's just burning calories. You need to push your body. You got to tear the fibers of the body to build and get stronger. So hopefully you understand. Again, don't go extreme, don't go crazy, but just lift heavy for what you're doing. That's what it's called, weight lifting. So try to be smart about that. Try to do that. Don't do this. Don't get closed down on that's an ego thing. It's not an ego thing. It's just a longevity thing that we all want to be able to keep doing this and play with our kids, when you're old and gray like me. So that's what you ultimately want to do. How many times do you train your abs? Again, I don't train my abs. Abs are like any other muscle. And again, that goes way back to everything else we're doing. You got to pick and choose the muscles and how you want to build them. So hopefully you guys all understand that too. So when you're training certain body parts, you're going to develop them. So if you are training your abs every day, you're going to develop them. And don't think that this is going to happen. Your waist isn't going to get smaller by training your abs. It's going to get thicker and bigger. And I teach you how to train your abs properly to get a smaller waist relative to training them and just getting a thicker, bigger waist. All right, that's probably the biggest thing. What is disappointing to me is when guys get to a success and then they drop off quickly because they got to the success by just working hard and eating and just doing it all that moment. They can't maintain it. They can't continue forward, so they drop off. So let me tell everybody this: if you want to be a freak, there's a great way you go out there and you freaking go off on the weightlifting and do the nutrition 100% every single day for the next 3 years. The only problem is you won't be able to maintain that. Nobody can. So my recommendation again is going into the training, and we go over this about the percentages of how you should train. There should be a larger portion of 70 to 80%. Your calorie intake should always be going up and then back down. So all those kind of things go into it on the YouTube. And what I'd like you guys all to do is I'd like you all to get better and then be able to maintain that peak level as long as you possibly can. And again, no shortcuts with that, no hype questions, no tricks on that stuff. It's just doing it correctly. They said stop posting it. They said stop posting ice cream. Oh, don't be like Mona, guys. That's a genetic freak. I'm not going to be teaching you guys that.
Nice.
Yeah, vacuum. Somebody asked about, is there a place for vacuum exercises? So that's a posing skill. So my recommendation, hopefully again, posing is important for you guys. Even if you're a strong man, you're a female, whoever it is, posing is an incredible, beneficial act. It really teaches you how to mind-muscle connection and how to utilize each muscle, especially things like your abdomen and your back and your hamstrings and your glutes. That way you can activate them by just flexing. You know, a lot of people will do an exercise and then they'll say, well, pull downs, we'll take for example, and they go, I only feel it in my forearms. My forearms are getting pumped in my arms. They're not being able to relax the arm and flex the back as you move through that. The hand is just what they say, Robbie Robinson, hands are hooks. And your arm should be moderately relaxed as you squeeze the back together and pull the bar down. So posing is a huge thing. And so to answer your question about the vacuum is a posing technique that you're going to learn how to do. The concept of an exercise to help you do the posing, I have no comprehension on how that even transferred in your mind to think that there is something like that. I have no idea how you would exercise a vacuum. Vacuum is sucking in your stomach. So that'd be a pose.
And that right there
Was your thing?
is what he's saying. That is the exercise.
Yeah,
Just practice.
yeah, just practice. Just practice the vacuum. That is the exercise.
8 seconds.
I want to see your abs.
You guys are ready?
Ready for this? Want to see show our abs? Get out of here.
That's what you got.
Calories are thrown out the window. I don't know if you know that or not, in the sense of like you're taking in 1,800 calories. So this is why they're thrown out the window, is because everybody is different. Everybody's metabolism is different. Everybody's body is different. And that was kind of like one of the things, and the reason why I proved during the 30-day blitz on the amount of muscle I kept, the changes that I made, the changes that Mona made, the changes that Heath Evans made. Now, Heath Evans' metabolism burns at a lot higher rate than I do. Well, wait a minute. You're bigger than Heath. You have more muscle than Heath. That is true, but I've also dieted my whole career. And so I've played with my metabolism up and down, where Heath Evans is a donut-eating savage, to where he's kept his carbohydrates utilization at a very much higher level than I have, along with Mona. So, and on top of that, stay with me on this, on top of that, Heath and I did some fast days in there just to really kind of push the whole scientific level of this on how much muscle we can retain by trying to destroy our bodies. Where we did not allow Mona to do that, and she took in the same amount of calories as us. So with that being said, all of us changed dramatically on the same exact diet for all of us. All different in a range of Mona obviously eating 400 grams of protein, where me as a 300-pound guy taking in that same much, you would think a 150-pound woman shouldn't need that much, but she built the muscle up and she sliced up. So that's kind of thrown out the window your 1,800, because if you are not tightening up and you're already at 1,800, my recommendation at this point is to drop your carbohydrates. On top of that, I would add in the cardio at some point here too. Here's the thing for everybody here listening. I would not try to diet alone to get in shape. Diet alone is great, and diet alone is going to get the metabolism working and retain the muscle. Put the work into, get the cardio in, get all that in. Try to get as lean as you possibly can at a younger age if possible, because it's only going to get tougher through the years. And then put that muscle back on. That's my recommendation for you. So here's the thing. If you're already down to 1,800 calories, again, you're already down there. I would just get moving and make sure that you finish up this diet in the next 4 weeks and you're done with it. So hopefully you understand that too. There's a period of time that you diet. Hopefully everybody understands this. I don't want nobody here dieting longer than 12 weeks. If you're dieting longer than 12 weeks and you're not in rip shape, you're doing it wrong. We should have. Let's do a YouTube on that, because a lot of these guys may all be thinking that you can diet for a long period of time, like 6 months or something. Don't fall into Lars' opinion about certain things, like you can diet all year or you don't have to lift heavy. Don't do that. It's a period of time. So yeah, hopefully you're not dieting for over 12 weeks. Get that goal, set it, and then get your butt in gear and get that weight off. Lars, come on, buddy. You got to let it go. Hey, Lars, here's the great thing about it. You disagree? Cool. Congratulations. Go do your thing. Have fun. It's no sweat off my back. It's no sweat off your back. You go do it. Here's the one thing that you're not going to be able to do. I've been successful at this forever, since before you were born. And I've learned a lot. And I learned what does work and what does help. And it's not only just my knowledge that I've picked up through this, Lars. It's the people from Ed Cohen and all the powerlifters I've worked with, the MMA fighters I've worked with, the elite bodybuilders I've worked with, the doctors I've worked with. It's all of this that I've gathered together.
That's it.
Now, understand this. I fully understand that some people may come in and go, I want to argue against you. You can, but this isn't the place to do that. I'm trying to help these people out here right now and trying to give them the best advice I can. And here's the biggest problem. I'm not going to go to a stockbroker that lives in an apartment and tell him, and he's telling me how to invest my money. That's the biggest thing. And right now you're that stockbroker living in the apartment. You're not a good shaped guy. You're not a very muscular guy, and you're telling people how to train. And so we're all going to look at you and go, first, let's do this. Take care of yourself and get in shape. And then come talk to us and give us some advice. Because right now I'm not going to invest $5 with you because you live in an apartment and you're not muscular. So it's a metaphor for stockbrokers. I'm going to go to the stockbroker that has the multi-million-dollar investment in houses, and he's kept it through his 20, 30-year career. That's who I'm going to probably go to. All right, Lars? Sarah's question. For someone with a very healthy appetite, do you recommend extra protein intake or fats? Okay, so here's a great one.
Very hearty appetite.
Hearty. But I can tell, Sarah, just by looking at you, that you do have a high fast metabolism. So I would put you with that same kind of thing where like Mona can snack throughout the days. No pumpkin ice cream for Sarah. For Lars. Lars needs it tonight. Sarah, I would play with it. I would kind of go up a little bit more of the protein, but you're still going to be hungry with protein. Fats are going to kind of, it's going to satisfy you a little bit better. Here's the thing though, you're very lean, you're very in shape, which is great. I hope that you are not running away from carbohydrates, because I don't want this to be, I'm happy about how Mona looks, because she's taking in about 250 to 300 grams of carbohydrates a day. If Mona was walking around like she's walking around, but on a carb-free diet, I wouldn't be happy. Because then I know that her metabolism is not functioning correctly. She's not utilizing carbohydrates. So I just worry about anybody that's not utilizing carbohydrates. Hopefully that makes sense. Please do this. I'd like to find out more from you. So make sure that to get more information, if you can, jump over into the Titan crew so we can talk more on Tuesdays. I'd love to see how you're going and how you're progressing to take care of that appetite.